Hello everyone and welcome to another HUBzero tutorial. This month we will cover where to post content on a hub and best practices when posting content. Going over our agenda, we will cover a few questions you should ask before you post, best practices when posting, access to information, and ending with questions and answers. Questions you should ask before you post. Who is the audience and what are you sharing? Understanding what access level they have and how often they will access the information is important when deciding where you will actually share that information. For example, you don't want to post something in a group if you expect people outside of that group or the remaining public to have access to that information, especially if the group is restricted in any way. You also want to consider what you are sharing, such as the length of the verbiage, file type, and complex or simple thoughts. For example, if you are trying to post something that is 1,000 characters long, you might want to consider if a blog or newsletter is better than trying to post it in a site notice. Going into a few examples to kind of help guide us to those best practices, we have our first example, which is during the event of a hub emergency or hub-wide announcement, how would one communicate with registered users and non-registered users? We will consider both short-term and long-term options. Example 2. This use case came from Inno Hub, where registered users needed to know how to connect to a VPN or join a group in order to open up the firewall to access the license server for a tool. Ending with example 3, sharing information with a single or multiple groups on a formal setting. All the places content can go. There are a variety of options on the hub where we can post content, such as articles, blogs, billboards, collections, courses, dashboard, events, forum, group announcements, group pages, group forum, group calendar, group wiki, knowledge base, newsletter, publications, resources, site notices, and ending with the site wiki. Jumping into our first example, we are going to look at short-term workarounds for sharing information. Short-term workarounds indicates that the life cycle of that content will be very short, such as only being provided for a day or up to a week. Site notices and group announcements are great examples for their quick and easy to publish and set up uptimes and downtimes with priority coloring. So site notices and group announcements are great if you want to share information about downtime maintenance or the fact that an event on your hub is about to start. Newsletters is also an informative setting where you can send out an email to all registered users who have allowed email from the hub turned on. It's a great way to share information about an upcoming tutorial or an upcoming maintenance. The landing page and billboards are easy to modify and useful if this is a recurring event that happens once a month or a lead up to an event. It's also great to share important information on the landing page because that's the first area users will look at when joining the hub. Events is a secondary option for you can set up a site notice with a link to the exact event that really defines the time and place with more descriptive information. So again, tying back to the length of the verbiage, we might have an event that we can provide more detail on, but we still want to notify users that this is happening. They might not always go directly to events, so sometimes it's better to set up a site notice indicating that there's an important event they should be aware of, providing that link. They can then go to that link and see more information about the upcoming event, whether it is maintenance or a new tutorial. Going into our long-term solutions. So with these solutions, we're looking at the verbiage and information living longer than a week or a month. Knowledge base articles, blogs are great ways to inform users that can be long or short, such as including documentation, news releases from a group, and other items. It's also great to share information through knowledge base and blogs because it can be easily searched. Articles, such as content pages, act as informative pages that can support multiple types of content and be styled. So embedding a video is very easy on an article page, and there can be some styling added to make it a little bit more dynamic. Modifying the dashboard or information module is also very relevant, for it allows new users to be informed about important information about the hub, such as where they can go to find the latest information about new resources and where they can go in order to join important groups. Finally, forum is also a great place where we can share information or allow users to have two-way conversations between site administrators and other users in the community. Again, tying into additional features, we could have a knowledge base article point to a forum post to say, if you have more questions about this information we've posted in this knowledge base article, please make a comment in our forum. That way, it's a little bit more dynamic and provides an opportunity for users to respond. Going into our second example, we can look at different ways to inform users when they need to have access to a tool, and it takes more than just clicking the launch button on the tool page or tool resource page to access that tool, such as connecting to a VPN or joining a group in order to access the tool. So on the resource page is ideally where you should post this information, such as step-by-step information on how to access the group or connect to the VPN. Group pages are also important. So again, if you have a group that you need to tie into in order to provide access, it's important to share with the users that they need to join the group first, then go to the page where the VPN secret is so they can actually have access to the VPN when setting it up. Courses is also another option. Again, this is the secondary option, something not generally used but could be used if the tool is very complex and involves a lot of setup in order to use it. Finally, we have our third example, sharing information to a single group or multiple group in a formal setting. Newsletters comes to mind, for it's a great option to have a custom template with a custom mailing list. For example, we could pick a single group or multiple groups, look at who are members or who is a part of the group, and add them to a newsletter mailing list that's custom to that group or to multiple groups. This is a great option if you have an admin group or a management group that needs to be informed about metrics such as how many users have joined the hub. The group calendar is also another option to share information in a professional way, for you can set up very specific events that are reminders such as a monthly meeting and have different categories to represent each event. You can also share in a group wiki more information about the group. It's not as formal, but it allows group members to edit and can be a little bit more dynamic. Group forum and group collections are great places to discuss and share ideas. Plus, with group collections, you have a very polished look when sharing different files or links to various information that might be relevant to this group or to multiple groups. Wrapping up with access to information. We often forget, when sharing information, to update our main menu and submenus to create navigational points for users to have access to that article or to that group where the information is stored. The Hub footer is also a secondary navigational menu that contains short links and can be used for additional article space. Offline information is also something to consider when we are communicating to users, especially during a point where the Hub is down or under maintenance. Ending with support configuration. It's essential for your team members to receive emails when new tickets are created, and how much information should be emailed out is also something to consider. Let us know if you have any questions. You can email us at support@hubzero.org or submit a ticket on HUBzero's Help Center at help.hubzero.org. Thanks for listening.